Hello, Gemini. Happy Halloween. Happy October. How are we doing? What are we going to do for Halloween? Are we dressing up? Please surround us with the warm, white, loving light of God. Okay, I think that one wants to be heard. Please give us God-given guidance for the highest good of all. Please protect us from all who seek to do us harm. Please give us God-given guidance for the highest good of all. For Gemini, those who love Gemini. Where are they? What's above them? What's behind them? What's beneath them? What's ahead of them? For Gemini, all those who love Gemini. For Gemini, and all those who love Gemini. For Gemini, and all those who love Gemini. For Gemini. One more shuffle, and we're good to go. Hey, stop that. The bottom of the deck, we have Strength reversed. So this is a card about taming the inner beast. It's a card about having compassion either with yourself or with others. And, you know, weakness. When we act on our impulses. In this deck, it's really cute because we have a lion tamer. And she's taking care of a sick lion. Look at his sad eyes. He's so sad. And he's getting a tongue depressor put in his mouth. See if he's sick. Let's move along. Let's move along. Come on, come on. So we have Skull of Stars. Ooh. It says infinite possibilities. I want to read from the book. I'll try to be quick. They're a little long-winded from the book, but helps get some better guidance. Skull of Stars, 57. Makes me think of this Bible, the story of in the Bible. It's one of my favorite stories, but I forget who it happened to, what the character was or what book it was, but it was about a woman who was having trouble conceiving a child, and God told her to go out every night and count the stars, and each one of the stars was a possibility for a child, and she eventually had a child. If you know what story I'm talking about, please let me know. Skull of Stars says, why think so small when galaxies spin within? Realize that you are made of the stuff of stars and infinite possibilities begin. This card indicates that you need to think bigger and more broadly about your future, what you would like to achieve. Perhaps there are false beliefs, often old, that no longer serve you as you grow and change. Sometimes these beliefs may not even be yours. They may have been imparted to you by your parents or the wider community, yet feel rather incongruent to you. You need to endeavor with all of your heart and soul and live the life you want and honor your own wishes and truth. Yeah! Do it for yourself. We start with the Ace of Pumpkins reversed and the Knight of Ghosts. You could be dealing with a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces. This is the Knight of Ghosts. The Ace of Pentacles is a card about... Ace of Pentacles is a new start, and Pentacles are, or the Ace of Pumpkins. It's about a new opportunity in your material world. I see an offer here, perhaps a love offer, because the Knight of Ghosts comes in with a love offer. The Knight of Cups is someone who is the knight in shining armor. He's very sensitive, very romantic, very sweep you off your feet type of guy, right? And he loves to be romantic. But because this Ace of Pentacles is reversed, this can mean someone who is not offering anything of value, right? Like he can show up with flowers, but is he going to commit? Is he going to take you to the doctor when you're sick? I don't know. This could also be you who feels like you're off to a false start with someone, that something didn't get off on the right foot. I'm feeling like your candy that you collected throughout the neighborhood just spilled all on the ground, right? But let's keep it moving. So in your crowning position, we have the Fool. So you're ready to take that new step, that new beginning, that leap of faith. The Fool is, you could also be dealing with an Aries or a Pisces. The Fool is Pisces for me. But the Fool is someone who he's leaving his baggage behind in this deck. Usually it shows a Fool going off a cliff who has a little hobo sack carrying off the cliff. So he is prepared at least a little bit. But here he's leaving the baggage behind and just, bye! You know, like, enough with this business. I've been telling everyone that, I just noticed this growth. So this risk, this new beginning, this leap of faith is going to result in a lot of growth. Perhaps something that is more valuable, right? That has something to offer. So this is what you're hoping and feeling, that this will grow, that this will be stable, that this will be something to offer. And I mean, you can pick your candy back up off the floor, right? But let's see what the other cards have to say. But I've been telling all the other signs that this Fool card, it's a clown, and it reminds me of the American Horror Story clown, which gives me the creeps. It's like one of the scariest things in the American Horror Story world, with his mask, and he has that like busted jaw, and he takes you back into his tin can torture chamber. I can't do it. I don't like it. In your past, we have the Queen of Pumpkins. So you could have been dealing with a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. This could also be your energy. But the Queen of Pumpkins is someone who knows her worth, knows her value. She's someone who nurtures her resources. She manages her time, her money. Someone who... This reminds me. I gotta look at my receipts. But someone who... takes the receipts from fast food, and she takes the survey and gets the cheeseburger, right? She's someone who manages her leftovers properly, like nothing goes to waste. She's super good at meal prep. Also want to say super abundant and fertile, like has all this stuff to offer of value, right? But she's super fertile because she has this rabbit here, right? So she's able to create, to manifest, to multiply her resources and make everything in her material world work for her. She is someone who is very grounded, earthy. I'm hearing crafty. Maybe you were crafty. In your foundation... we have the King of Imps. The King of Imps is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is the leader. He is the motivator. He is the inspirer. He is the motivational speaker. The wand suit, or the fire suit, or the imp suit, whatever you want to call it. These are people who are very funny and sexy and popular and vivacious, right? So, in your foundation, you could have led a bunch of people. Like, what I'm getting the sense with this storyline that perhaps you have been a leader for a long time. Like, maybe you have been in a managerial position, and now you're ready to, like, do something on your own, do something just for yourself instead of, like, leading others. So that's for some of you. For others of you, this is just talking about being in your own authority, having passion and drive and stamina to sort of rule over all of your passions, right? All of your creative endeavors, all of the things that get you going. Definitely an Aries, because the Fool and the King of Imps. Let me know if... I think on Aries reading, they were talking about dealing with the Gemini. No, that was Leo. It don't matter. You could be dealing with Leo. but let's see what's in your future position. We have the Two of Imps. I've been getting this one a lot. So the Two of Imps is the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is a card about crossroads. It's a card about making plans, putting plans into action. In this deck, it's a little bit different because we show two. This is a very Gemini card. It shows two different little devils, and they each have conflicting plans, right? They each want it to go in separate directions, and so they're fighting with each other, kind of like Tweedledee, Tweedledum, very twins, right? Twins-like. And so we have this higher power who's pulling them apart, like, no matter what you have in store for yourself, God has a higher plan, right? So whenever it's reversed, it's like, not making plans. It's, and I'm hearing too, like, not being in competition, with, like, dual ideas, right? Conflicting ideas with, like for you, I think maybe you are dealing with someone who you guys might be reaching a compromise on the different directions you want to go. But I'm going to pull some more cards for Gemini and others who love Gemini. Could you clarify this Two of Imps? Two of Imps for Gemini and others who love Gemini. One more shuffle. Oh, sorry. Okay, so it looks like you are, like, things are coming out in the open. Things are being more transparent. I think for some of you, I'm hearing things are coming out in the open about backstabbings and betrayals that you kind of brushed off as they weren't any big deal at the time. But now that you've processed them emotionally, you're kind of like, actually, we need to talk about that, right? But I think with this Ten of Bats, the Ten of Swords, or Ten of Bats, is a card about being through the ringer. It's a card about, it's the end of mental anguish, right? And whenever you have reached the end of any sort of mental confusion, mental chaos, mental illness even, then it crystallizes into wisdom, right? So you can let others know how to navigate that world. And yeah, you can offer advice. The Seven of Bats is a card about, and you know, I said this is something that you considered not a big deal at the time. The Seven of Bats, or the Seven of Swords, it's a card about a man who is like a thief in the night. And he's stealing 5 swords from an encampment, and usually 2 swords remain. So he's stealing 5 swords. The Five of Swords is a card about conflict. It's a card about debate and conflicting ideas, a lot like this, right? So whenever, sometimes it's like sneak card, you know, people cheating and all of that. I don't feel like that's the case here, although if it is, let me know. But I feel like you sort of like cheated yourself, actually, because it's like you were trying to avoid conflict by stealing the conflict, right? The Five of Swords is a card about conflict, so he takes 5 swords and sneaks away in the night to avoid having this debate, avoid having this discussion. And so whenever it's reversed, it's kind of like, initially, you might have thought, like, this isn't a big deal, but the more you sat on it, the more you realized how important something was to you. Let me know what that importance was. But it also is a card, because it's a sneaky card in the upright, it is a transparency card in the reverse, right? So things are coming out, I think, because you have processed some things in your mind, they look different now, right? You have seen things from another perspective, and so it's like a light is being shed on some of those issues. The Knight of Bats is kind of like, it's a swift moving energy, fast communication, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. So this could be you or someone else's energy. But this is someone who has a cause, has a calling in his heart. He has an ideal of what love should be, right? We have the Knight of Ghosts right here. Or what justice should look like. Or he just has a cause and a calling in his heart. He has a purpose for everything he does in life. But the thing about the Knight of Bats is he can charge in and have really harsh communication. Kind of be like, fuck everyone. You know it's supposed to be this way. Why are y'all doing this? Wake up, people. And so whenever he charges in and, you know, calls people out, he alienates them at the same time. Kind of like shuts down the conversation that could be had to make things better, right? And in a sense, it's also avoiding conflict, even though you're busting through the door and shouting at people, right? If that makes any sense, let me know if you're following me with that. But it's like you want to win the argument. So like in an effort to win the argument, you cut people down. Don't feel too bad. I'm an air sign too. I'm a Libra, so I'm like the most diplomatic air sign. But even I can sting. I have a Scorpio stellium. It's not my proudest quality, but we're human, right? So sometimes I can be sharp with my tongue. Sometimes Geminis can be sharp with their tongue. I know a lot of Geminis. Sometimes, like with air signs, I've said this time and time again, everyone says that they're cold and that they're bitchy and that they're mean, but like all of the air signs I know, I guess because I'm an air sign, I just would not classify them that way. Like we can say hello and perfectly feel like happy and content, and someone else might take it as what a bitch, right? The way we say hello is just like cold and cutting, and it's like, I was not feeling that. I did not intend that. I don't know why you think. It's kind of like resting bitch face, only with our words, you know? Like, anyway, so, whenever you're speaking your truth, just make sure to kind of come from a heart-centered place and remember what your cause is, what your calling is, like why you're calling people out. And if you can drop down into your heart, you can have, well, we don't have it anymore, but you can have compassion for others and compassion for yourself. And any sort of outbursts can come from a place of knowing that we all have faults, right? And just making an effort to actually resolve the conflict. I want to get some clarification on this Ace of Pentacles too. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for your messages. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For Gemini and all those who love Gemini, could you clarify this Ace of Pentacles for me, please? This Ace of Pentacles for Gemini and all those who love Gemini. One more shuffle. Two of Pentacles, Queen of Imps, and the Eight of Ghosts. So I think you are walking away from something that might have been overwhelming in the past. The Two of Pentacles is a card about juggling, and I'm hearing a lot of like reiterating the message. Dang it! Dang it! This happened with another reading I had. Sorry, Gemini.